Now let's look at this example as well. So we are still on the um, how we can express quantities as percentage of another quantity. Looking at this example, it says a box contains 350 oranges. If 150 oranges are removed, what percent or what percentage is left? So this one is also very basic. This time we are looking at the percentage, what percentage is left. So before that, we need to know what is left. Okay, so in total we have 350 oranges, and we have taken away 150. So we look for what is left. After that, we find what percentage makes that number of oranges what left. Okay, good. So this one, all that we do is we find um, oranges left. Good. So for oranges left should be equal to what? So we subtract or take away the number of oranges removed from what? The total number of what? Oranges. So the total number of oranges is what? 350, and the number of oranges removed is what? 150. Great. So this gives us what? 200 oranges left. Okay, good. So once we know the number of oranges left, then the rest of the work becomes very simple. Okay, so remember initially what we did in how to express quantities as percentage of another quantity. So this one we have gotten another quantity. This time we are looking for the percentage, what percent is left. So this is what is left. So it goes back to what we already did. Okay, good. So since we have 350 as the total, and we have also gotten 200 as the oranges left, it is the same thing, as the same as we did. So it is the same as expressing this total left as percentage of the total oranges. It is the same thing. And remember, in our previous lesson, when you're asked to express a quantity as percentage of another, what you do is you only find the fraction, or you express the fraction of that particular quantity as the total, or as the quantity of the total. I've forgotten. Then you multiply by 100%. So since we know that this 200 is our quantity, then we find the fraction of this 200. Okay, we find the fraction of this 200 as the total. This is the total. So we are going to get 200 divided by 350. Then we multiply by 100%. Okay, so this one is also very what? Basic. If that is the case, then we so since we have 0 here, I can cross this 0, leaving 10 here, and then we have what? 200. So it means that we are going to multiply 200 by 10 divided by 35. So this time we have 200 times 10, all divided by what? 35. And then all in percentage. Okay, I normally bring this percentage because most students, after calculating all this, they forget to add the percentage. That's why I always advise my students that don't forget to bring your percentage, so that as you are moving along, you bring the percentage in your final answer. Okay, all right. So how do we get this? Now we are going to get so 200 times 10 gives me what? 2000, all divided by 35, all percent. All right, good. So what will be our final answer? What is 2,000 or divided by 35. So this gives me 57 point. Now I'm going to approximate this to two decimal places. So for two decimal places, I will have 0.14. Then I'll add my percentage, because we are saying that the question demands what percent or what percentage is left. This is what is left. So we are finding what percentage makes this amount what remain, or this remaining amount, or this remaining what number of oranges. Have you gotten that? Great. So this gives me my answer. Now let's move on to our second question. Okay, let's look at our second question. Now in our second question, it read as Amwa spent 25,000 Ghana cedis out of the 50,000 Ghana cedis. What percent is the remaining amount if Asante also spent 5,000 Ghana cedis? Good. So this one, the same. We are still on expressing quantities as percentage of another quantity. So this one is also similar to the first example. This one says Amwa spent this amount. So in all, we need to know the total amount, and we need to know the amount spent. After that, because we are finding what percentage makes that amount remain, then after finding the total, then we find the difference. We find the difference of the total and the amount spent. So let's look at the total amount. Okay, so I'll write my total amount. Good. So now that we know the total amount, we also find what the amount spent. So how do we find the amount spent? Remember that we said Amwa spent this particular amount, that is 25,000, and Asante also spent what, 5,000. So to find this, we combined or add the amount Amwa spent and the amount Asante spent. Then we find the total of the amount what spent. So we are going to get this, which is 25,000 plus how much did Asante spend. That is, Asante also spent 5,000 Ghana cedis. Good. So we find the total of the amount spent. So 25,000 plus 5,000. How much are you going to get? You are going to get, I think, 3,000 or 30,000. Yes, we get 30,000. All right, we get 30,000 Ghana cedis. So the amount spent is what? 30,000 Ghana cedis. Now that we know the total amount and the amount spent, we can proceed and look for amount left, okay, or the remaining amount. So we can also find what? Remaining amount. How do we find remaining amount? It's all a matter of what? Subtracting the amount spent from the total amount. We already know the amount spent as what? 30,000, and the total amount as what? 50,000. So this one is also what? Basic, simple what? Subtraction of numbers. So we just subtract that amount, which is what? 30,000 Ghana cedis. Then we get what? 20. We get 20. We get 20,000 Ghana cedis. Good. So 20,000 Ghana cedis is the amount left. Good. So what does the question demand? The question demands we find what? The percentage of the amount what? That give us what? The remaining amount. So what percent is, so this is the question, what percent is the remaining amount? Good. So we know the remaining amount, the same process, we only find what the fraction of, or we express the fraction of the remaining amount as the total amount. We find what the fraction of the remaining amount as the total amount and multiply by 100, since the question demands we find the percentage. Okay, good. So what we do is just 20,000 all divided by 50,000 times 100%. So this one is very basic, all right? Great. So since we have zeros here, we can cross this. I can cross this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I will cross all of them. Okay. So that I will have 2 on 5 times 100%. Okay, good. So this gives me so this is what 2 times 100 all divided by 5, and then I'll bring my percentage. Okay, this gives me 200 divided by 5%. So what is 200 by 5%? So this gives me what, 40%. Great. So you see that this is what, very simple. Questions like this is how you can go about it. So it's very basic. All right. There are a lot of examples that we can look at them. So my dear students, I will urge you to solve more examples on this. You see that this is very simple. Okay, now this is Maths TV. Your facilitator is Evans. Okay, if you have any challenges, feel free contact me and I'll help you out. So see you next time. Thank you.